This is Red Carpet Fly's News on the Fly, bringing you daily, unique, and interesting entertainment, celebrity, and luxury news. Before we get started, you know what to do. Like, follow, and subscribe to Red Carpet Fly, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single News on the Fly episode. Did you guys know that Halloween is just a week and a few days away? For those of you who celebrate Halloween, do you have a Halloween costume? And if so, what are you going dressed up as? I celebrate Harvest, one, because I'm a Christian and we aren't technically supposed to celebrate Halloween, but I also celebrate Harvest because I decorate my house for the holiday, and Halloween is just way too short of a holiday to decorate for. It's just one day, and decorating your house takes a lot of work. As soon as September hits, out comes the harvest decorations, and it stays out until Thanksgiving. So I get 3 solid months of my decorations being out. However, I do dress up from time to time for Halloween, and this year I was thinking of going as a dinosaur. As I get older, I try to find things that are easy and don't take up a lot of time. I saw this hoodie on Etsy with the dino spikes, and I was like, perfection. I'll just do really cute makeup and wear some leggings and throw on the hoodie. And then when I go out, I won't be cold because I have a hoodie on. You gotta think multifunctional costumes, guys. Anyway, I said all of this because I got a spooky headline for you. Have you guys ever had sex with ghosts? Well, Joy Behar, one of the hosts from The View, revealed that she's had sex with a few ghosts. According to Love B. Scott, on Thursday's episode of The View, the television personality, 80, opened up about her experiences with spirits while chatting with her co-host about a woman who allegedly had sexual ghosts in her home. This Texas woman had reported that her house was haunted by sexual ghosts and that she had several encounters with said spirits talking dirty or hearing weird sounds. Her house was once a brothel or something like that, so she believes that's why the spirits are sexual. Anyway, Joy chimed in and said, "I've had sex with a few ghosts and never got pregnant," Behar quietly admitted after co-host Sarah Hines asked if someone could become pregnant by having sex with a spirit. Okay, I think she was joking because this whole story is crazy, but it's funny to talk about since we're in the spooky season, right? But seriously, have you ever had an encounter with the supernatural? I've had a few. I definitely believe in ghosts and spirits and the supernatural. I believe in guardian angels and the whole thing. I won't even watch scary movies about spirits like The Conjuring or Oculus or Annabelle or The Exorcist. Any of those type of movies, I don't need that kind of fear in my life. It's just way too scary. I stay in my lane. I watch monster, vampire, and alien, and sometimes I don't even watch alien movies thanks to The Fourth Kind. That ish had me scared for weeks. And I watch psychological thrillers. Comment below if you had any supernatural encounters or if you believe in the supernatural. So, on to something a little less scary. Superheroes. I've actually been wanting to do this story, but again, it gets a little existential and heady, but I think y'all can handle it. So, a few weeks ago, I was reading this article that stated Alan Moore, a well-known comic book writer, known for writing comics like Watchmen and V for Vendetta, says our fascination with superheroes is a precursor to fascism. What? A reach much? So I had to investigate. I couldn't understand how superheroes equal fascism. So according to TMZ, where I originally saw this argument, Alan makes the argument that the superhero genre at large lends itself to the extreme political ideology. Because superheroes dominate through force, they move faster and hit harder than everyone else, essentially a fascist concept. Additionally, some argue that superheroes, by their very nature and story arcs, prop up the idea that one person wielding ultimate power over society, but doing it for the common good. Some other sites I sourced for this material was NPR and The Atlantic. They both did stories exploring this idea or concept. So it's the idea or notion that superheroes exist to symbolize the notion that might equals right, that a select few should dictate the fate of the world, and that the status quo is to be protected at all costs, all fascist ideas. On the flip side, and the way I've always seen it, is that superheroes are democratic ideas. They exist to express what's noblest about us: selfishness, sacrifice, a commitment to protect those who need protection, and to empower the powerless. But I could see both sides, which is intriguing. Moore further goes on to state, I said round about 2011 that I thought that it had serious and worrying implications for the future if millions of adults were queuing up to see Batman movies, because that kind of infantilization, that urge towards simpler times, simpler realities, that can be very often a precursor to fascism. He goes to say that there were a lot of headlines coming out in the late 20th century that said comics had grown up, but he refutes that with this. It wasn't comics growing up. I think it was more comics meeting the emotional age of the audience coming the other way. Interestingly, I sort of agree with Moore on this point. Unpopular opinion, but I do feel like there is a bit of a failure to launch with millennials and Gen Z in the quest for our parents, in general, to give us the best opportunities. In my observation, there has been a bit of infantilization going on, and it's evident in a lot of different social spheres, from dating to working to living. However, that's a different topic for a different day. But what do you guys think about this argument? In my research, it stated that this has been a long debated topic, but this was news to me. Comment below and let me know your thoughts. In keeping with the superhero theme, Keke Palmer confirms her interest in the MCU's X-Men Rogue role. This girl stay working. Now, this is interesting because I am a fan of X-Men, and I really don't see Keke playing Rogue, but maybe I'm not seeing the vision. According to Screen Rant, Keke Palmer confirms her interest in portraying the MCU's version of X-Men's Rogue, following fans expressing their hopes for her to take on the role. While X-Men have yet to debut in the MCU, recent productions, including Mrs. Marvel, have introduced mutants into the franchise and laid the groundwork for the team's appearance. So for those of you guys who are unfamiliar with Rogue, let me give you a little history. So Rogue possesses the ability to absorb powers and memories from others. She ran away from home and was soon discovered by Mystique and Destiny, who recruited her into the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Despite initially being an antagonist to the Avengers and X-Men, the young mutant would eventually join the X-Men, becoming one of their most powerful and popular members as she took on a more heroic role. With mutant kind slowly emerging in the MCU through small nods, and both Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman set to portray Deadpool and Wolverine in Deadpool 3, many viewers are anticipating the debut of Charles Xavier's team of heroic students in the franchise, with Palmer becoming one of the favorite choice among audience to take on the role of Rogue. The article further states that Palmer has already proven that she has an incredible range across her career, taking on a wide swath of roles across many different genres, including comedy, horror, and scream queens, and crime drama and hustlers. As such, Palmer could easily portray the character throughout her journey, from a lost, isolated young girl to becoming an outgoing powerhouse of the X-Men, capturing Rogue's complex growth as a person. I don't know about that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love me some Keke, but I'm just not seeing the fit. Now, I'm not saying she can't play the character, but I don't know if she's the best fit. What do you guys think? Am I tripping? Anyway, that's it for today, guys. If you'd like to receive text notifications of when I post my News on the Fly episodes or my celebrity red carpet interviews, please send a text to 917-502-4379 and say, I want to get fly text. Once subscribed, you'll start receiving text messages regarding a News on the Fly episode or celebrity interviews. Also, if you have a business, product, service, YouTube channel, or social media account that you would like for me to promote on my channel, please email redcarpetfly@alexi@redcarpetfly.com to get rates for advertising. We're growing, guys. You can also find this podcast on Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeart Radio podcast platforms. Just search for Red Carpet Fly News on the Fly podcast. Lastly, please like, follow, subscribe, and share our YouTube channel, Red Carpet Fly, and also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Red Carpet Fly. And until Monday, always stay fly.